Hello. This week on Click, yep, you've guessed it, it's phones galore. We're in Barcelona at the Mobile World Congress to look at the latest kit for getting your voice and your data around the world while you're on the move. We've got an essential guide to keeping your personal computer healthy. And if your name's not Dan, you're not coming in. We're in New York to see how the human doorman is being replaced. All that plus the latest tech news and the best of the web with Kate in Webscape. Welcome to Click. I'm Spencer Kelly. The mobile phone has become our best buddy and our worst enemy, depending on whether it's yours, which is ringing on the train or not. Every February, the mobile industry gathers in Barcelona to showcase its latest kit and try and persuade the rest of us to use its hot new services. We threw Mark Chislak into the melee. He fought his way through the crowds and brought back this summary of Mobile World 2008.
The Fira de Barcelona plays host to the annual Mobile World Congress. Telecoms industry insiders pack into this trade event's 8 huge halls, eager to prod, play and fiddle with a variety of mobile devices. This is the event where the mobile phone industry rolls out the very latest hardware and innovations. And while there are plenty of handsets on show which open out, slide or are operated by touch, the real buzz is being generated by software. Google's Linux-based Android platform received an airing on the Texas Instruments, ARM and Qualcomm stands. Handsets and software development kits demoed basic functionality like web browsing and maps. The reason Android generates so much excitement is that it's based on open-source software. So, in theory, any developer can start coding new applications for mobile phones which support the platform. The first phones to feature Android are expected to launch towards the end of this year. With phones now capable of data speeds approaching broadband, streaming or downloading media files from your gadgets at home is moving several steps closer to reality.
As we move into the future, you'll see within the home your computer, your mobile phones, and then also your TVs and stereos being able to interact across a network so that media such as pictures, movies, and sound, audio files can be shared across all those environments.
Lots of contemporary handsets come jam-packed with a host of additional features. MP3 players and inbuilt digital cameras are commonplace. But one of the big trends over the next 12 months will be video playback, the ability to watch TV shows or stored movies via your handset. There is, however, one problem with this concept. The small size of the phone's screen doesn't exactly lend itself to a widescreen picture. Mobile manufacturers like Nokia were keen to showcase all singing, all dancing handsets like the N96 with inbuilt DVB-H or digital TV tuners. But while mobile TV has enjoyed years of success in Southeast Asia, Western markets have been slow to tune in to TV or video on mobiles.
Are you going to really want to watch a movie on a 2-inch screen? Are advertisers going to want, is a 2-inch screen going to be enough for IPTV? You know, they're selling ad time on 50-inch screens. Are they going to want to pay the same amount for advertising on a 2-inch screen? Maybe not.
One way to prevent users squinting at movies on a tiny screen is to project a large image onto a surface from a handset. Cambridge-based outfit Light Blue Optics have developed this laser-based projection technology. Lasers use less power and can shine much brighter than any other light source. The picture looks slightly grainy and speckly. That's due to the nature of laser projection. That problem has been solved by this more advanced prototype. The plan is to produce 2 miniaturized versions of these projectors. One a standalone device, the other a tiny unit which will fit inside a mobile phone. The microprojector may be a few years away, but graphics chip manufacturer Nvidia showed off a prototype touchscreen device with features which could end up in handsets fairly soon. Its touchscreen may echo the iPhone, but this device has an interesting trick up its digital sleeve. It can output video to a TV screen in high definition.
So if you look behind me, you'll see 720p content being played back from our development platform here. It's coming out through HDMI. As you can see, it's stunning quality, and it's also done at extremely low power. You can plug an HDMI cable into a telephone manufactured with our applications processor and play back 10 hours of 720p content onto your television.
Carrying all of that high-definition content around will occupy an awful lot of storage space, though.
We've seen a trend. You've seen video players, portable media players introduced this year with 16 and 32 gigs of memory. Devices that are being designed with our applications processor right now that'll come out in a year and a half or 2 years' time will have 32 or 64 gigabytes of memory. So there'll be plenty of memory. That'll allow you to carry a number of movies, all the music you'd ever want, and your whole picture library.
From sometime in the future to the here and now, there are new handsets aplenty on show. Noticeable by its absence, Apple left its network suppliers to show off the iPhone. That said, there seem to be plenty of phones which have been inspired by Apple's design. Black and silver case, check. And touchscreens are absolutely all over the place. In fairness to manufacturers like LG, they have tried to add a few wrinkles to their new phones, while still sporting touchscreens with the sliding mechanisms which house normal buttons, and some of its new handsets feature haptic feedback, which means when the touchscreen is pressed, the phone will gently vibrate. While stylish handsets are certainly desirable, fashions change. Something that looks cutting edge today can easily become old hat tomorrow. New mobile manufacturer Modu thinks it has the answer, with a little help from the world's smallest mobile phone. This handset is actually a fully featured phone. Plugging it into a variety of different cases or jackets can add new features to the kit, a digital camera or GPS device, for example. Or if the user bores of the phone's design, install it into a differently styled or featured jacket. Already garnering interest from network suppliers, modular mobile phones will appear at the end of this year. So, handsets that chameleon-like can change their appearance, or phones that come so loaded with features they more resemble a PC. It seems that the last thing on manufacturers' minds is simply making a call.
Mark Chislak in Barcelona, and expect to see some of that stuff infiltrating a phone near you soon. Now let's get right up to date with the latest tech news. The British government is considering controversial plans to terminate the internet access of illegal downloaders. Under the early draft proposals, ISPs would issue 2 warnings before shutting down a user's service. Those who didn't comply would be prosecuted and their details passed to the courts. The recording industry has welcomed the idea, but it's met widespread opposition from privacy groups, from security firms who worry that it will lead to more unauthorised piggybacking on unsecure wireless networks, and from the ISPs themselves, who argue they're not responsible for what people use their service for. The next-gen format war is beginning to look like game over. Influential American retailer Best Buy said it will be promoting Sony's Blu-ray over its rival HD DVD in its stores. And in another blow to the Toshiba-backed format, the online movie retailer Netflix has announced that it will be dropping HD DVD rentals altogether. And finally, confused by wireless tech? Yeah, thought so. Well, this probably won't help. Yep, the next version of Bluetooth, out next year, may well incorporate none other than Wi-Fi. Currently, Bluetooth is used for short-distance, small data transmissions between gadgets. But the Bluetooth Interest Group says it makes sense to look at joint Wi-Fi Bluetooth chips, which would activate the Wi-Fi for larger files at longer distances and conserve power using Bluetooth for the smaller stuff. Open wide. Say ah. Feeling a bit sluggish. Yeah, your hard drive does look a bit full, I have to say. See, over time, your computer's performance can start to suffer. It's basically a result of lots of programs and websites starting to fill up its working areas, and every so often they just need a good clear out. Now, it's a bit like servicing a car, and as such, there's quite a bit to remember. Now, we put loads of details about it up on our website. More on that in a sec. First, here's our quick guide to the essentials. First up, give your hard drive a good spring clean, as all operating systems work best when at least 20% of the drive is kept free. Now, you can make room by deleting unwanted photos, music and documents, or by archiving your data onto removable storage like CDs. Check the website for our Click Essentials guide to archiving. Or, with the cost of hard drives falling all the time, try buying a second drive to store your documents on. Now, over time, your hard drive can become disorganised, with some files split into several chunks and stored in different locations on the disk. Defragging will shuffle the data around to store it more efficiently and improve access times. Windows has a good defrag tool built in, but make sure you've quit all other applications before hitting that defragment button. Now, this is a long and boring process, so make sure you have a good book to hand. Apple says that its systems are less susceptible to disk fragmentation, but nevertheless, there are commercial defrag programs available for the Mac. Every time you load a web page, your browser will save it to your hard drive. That means it's quicker to load on your next visit. But this dump of pictures and text can become very large. So follow your browser's options to delete the cache, or as Internet Explorer prefers to call it, your temporary internet files. To run smoothly, applications need plenty of short-term memory, or RAM. So investing in another gig or two will give you an instant boost. But because the amount of RAM you have is finite, keep an eye on how many applications you've got open at any one time and quit any that you're not using. And on that note, check which programs run automatically when your machine starts up. In Windows, this is set in the System Configuration utility, and on a Mac, right-click an icon in the dock and untick Open at Login. Full details are on our website. Now, not only does spyware put your personal data at serious risk, but it also hijacks some of your processing power. Windows users can use Microsoft's Defender to clear out these dodgy programs, but other spyware detectors are available for both Mac and PC. They all work in the same way, by searching your system and removing any offending data. And lastly, downloading the latest drivers for your hardware could give you a noticeable speed boost, especially if you hadn't done it since your machine left the shop. More details, as ever, are on our website, bbc.co.uk/click. Now, you'll obviously want to review those tips in your own time, so everything you've just seen and more is up at our website. And we've got plenty more Click Essentials in the pipeline, but we're always keen to know if there's anything you'd like help on. So email click@bbc.co.uk and tell us if there's anything that you'd like us to cover. Your wish is our command. And still to come on Click this week, we'll take a look at who's guarding your main entrance, and they'll take a look back at us. Plus some more great websites to while away the hours in Webscape. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
No one.
No one who?
All right, don't build up your parts. But if you call at a high-rise building in New York City, no one may be exactly who you find. You see, these places are turning to technology instead of having a real live person looking after visitors, security and deliveries. Ian Hardy reports from the Big Apple on the invasion of the cyber doormen.
What apartment you want?
10D.
10D?
Yes.
Okay. You can go now. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Hello, you have a pizza delivery coming up. You're welcome. Enjoy.
Doormen are the eyes and ears of New Yorkers, providing a personalised service to their residents and acting as a filter to the outside world at the same time. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
What we do is we handle people's dry cleaning. We handle their deliveries of food. We take care of their pets. And a couple of times we had to do some resuscitation.
But at many buildings, such a high level of service can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, a fee that is passed on to residents. The majority of smaller dwellings with fewer people to share that amount have to do without. But there's an alternative which, thanks to technology, is becoming more popular. An operator who is stationed miles away now controls the latch.
Hi, good morning, Eric. It's Janelle from Cyber Doorman. I'm calling to inform you that I have a FedEx delivery for you in the lobby.
Cyber Doorman installs a remote access infrastructure in your building, including a camera setup. Visitors who come to the front door intercom get connected to a live person off-site based in the South Bronx. She, in turn, calls the resident at home or work to get permission to let the visitor or delivery in.
Okay, so I'll let her in and you guys can send us her information.
Using an encrypted internet connection, multiple video streams are securely sent back to base and stored using the latest compression technology. Yet the voice part of the interaction is done through old-fashioned analog phone lines rather than VoIP.
With internet phones, although they are so prevalent in the marketplace, our one detriment is if the internet would go down, we would lose contact. With the existence of the regular standard telephone line, when the internet goes down, we're still able to actually speak to the visitors over the phone line.
5A. Okay, what kind of delivery service?
The Cyber Doorman service is staffed, ironically, almost entirely with females. Unscientific surveys have found them to be more popular than male voices and better able to diffuse confrontations with fired nannies and dumped girlfriends, for example, whose entry privileges can evaporate overnight. At Metro 92, a building marketed to young professionals, the package room, a critical part of most lobbies, can be remotely unlocked and even has a fridge inside for fresh food deliveries. 25 cameras monitor a visitor's every move, and Cyber Doorman calls the police if someone starts acting suspiciously. While such a display of camera technology is common in other parts of the world, in America personal privacy has always been a closely guarded right, and historically surveillance cameras have not been welcomed.
I think we've grown to accept it. I think particularly in urban areas in America, everywhere you look there's a camera now. Parking garages, out on the street. All-weather cameras, they're everywhere, and we've grown accustomed to seeing the little black dome everywhere.
The latest technology in the Cyber Doorman service, we've incorporated biometric readers at the buildings. A resident will put their finger on the reader, and once they're granted access, we'll wait in front of the door for it to open. Even when you get to the elevator, Cyber Doorman technology still exists. Basically, the residents walk over to the biometric reader here, and once presenting their finger, a floor will be opened.
Residents at this converted church can also see the camera feeds themselves from within their apartments. But can screens and surveillance replace the real deal? There's one clear advantage that Bob has. He's lived in this area for nearly 60 years, gaining an intimate knowledge of the people and places around the neighbourhood that no remote service could possibly match. Real estate broker Laura Hembry also feels that an on-site human presence has an irreplaceable value to many New Yorkers.
I would say in almost every building where there is a doorman, the residents establish a relationship with the doorman. The night doorman, the morning doorman, they establish a relationship with them. The children grow up with them. And I think that relationship is very important in New York, where people feel like there's a lot of anonymity.
In fact, many Cyber Doorman users say they would like to see, as well as hear, the operator on the intercom. But such a simple request presents many problems, including increased bandwidth, the chore of visually pleasing backdrops, and perhaps even uniforms for the Cyberdoor staff. So it's likely they'll remain behind a speaker, at least for now.
Ian Hardy in New York. Now it's time to fire up the browser, grab your mouse and disconnect the phone. It's surfing time, courtesy of Kate and Webscape. Actually, you might want to keep the phone line connected so you can... anyway, here's Kate.
It seems like every man and his dog wants a website these days, but making something that looks good and functions well isn't as easy as it sounds. Well, I can't promise your dog will be able to use our first website today, but for any humans out there who need help designing a website, Weebly is a must. The first thing that strikes me about this site is the simple and accessible design. Good news, as this ethos will be applied to your site too, making it a much more pleasurable surf. Registration is painless and speedy, then you jump straight in and name your website. This brings you to the Build interface. Check out the tabs across the top first to familiarise yourself with the tasks ahead, and notice the sub-menus that appear on the left as you switch between tabs. Everything about this site is drag and drop, so it's very simple to use, and the number of options is startling. Begin with an overall design. Just hover your mouse over the thumbnails to see a preview. The pictures included here are placeholders, which you can change for your own images, but make sure you have a picture with the right dimensions if you want it displayed properly. You can now begin to add new elements, including text, pictures, and even video by linking to a YouTube or Google video file. Clicking the link to more will also let you add elements like Google Maps and RSS feeds. Use the Pages tab to add additional pages and even a blog. Once you're happy, click to publish and you're presented with a URL where people can view your site. There's even a link here to create your own domain name, but bear in mind you'll have to pay for that if you want it. Computers have become an essential part of our daily lives. The information we keep on them is valuable, sentimental and often vital. So what happens if you lose your computer in a fire or theft? Well, as scary as it is to think about, disasters do happen, and you have two choices in life. Bury your head in the sand and hope it doesn't happen to you, or back up, buddy. The safest option is to store your data off-site, and Mozy.com offers that very service all wrapped up in a user-friendly interface. Now, Mozy does provide a paid-for service for both home and professional users, and if you have a lot to back up, it's worth considering the fairly inexpensive monthly fee. But you can store up to 2 gig completely free if you're a home user. Click the Mozy Home tab at the top to find the free sign-up button. There's a few personal details to fill in, and the final registration page offers you more free space for referrals, which is a nice touch. After confirming your email address, you get a link to download the backup software. Next step, install and then go through the configuration wizard, which will bring you to a page where you can select the backup sets you want, such as email and contacts, financial information, and photos and images. Even your browser bookmarks. Well, if you're on the free account, the capacity bar at the bottom will tell you when you're over the limit. The next dialog tests the speed of your connection, and then you're told how long the backup will take to complete. Be warned, it will likely be a long time for the first backup, but will be a lot quicker after that. Finally, make your choice about when you want the backup to start, and then click Finish to finish. Another download next, and a useful hard disk analyzer that speaks volumes with visuals. It's called Windows Directory Statistics, and you can download it from sourceforge.net. Type the word WinDirStat into the search box on the homepage to jump straight to the right bit of software. After download and installation, you're presented with a fairly basic interface. Specify the drives or folders you want to analyse, and then go make a cup of tea or something while the software does its thing. They say pictures can speak 1,000 words, and I guess in the case of the visual map you get here, they'd be right about that. Knowing the size of a folder and all its subfolders can be really useful when it comes to spring cleaning your data to give you a bit more room. It's a function that even the latest versions of Windows don't perform. And there I have to leave you, I'm afraid. Spencer has the address you need for links to all of these pages and more in just a moment. Enjoy.
Thanks, Kate, and keep your website suggestions coming, please, to click at bbc.co.uk. Or you can contact us through our website, and while you're there, you can browse this week's programme in video and in text form too. Exciting. The link to click, bbc.co.uk/click. Enjoy, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.